Great RJ1 here, and you may have seen my last video where I did a concept on Book of Boba, if a Book of Boba Fett DLC could have made about a Book of Boba Fett DLC that could have been in Battlefront 2015. And I know I said I'd start with the Mandalorian, but I did complete Cad Bane. I did his thumbnail first, so I guess we're starting off with Cad Bane. I will be using Ninum for the Mandalorian gameplay though, because of one certain ability that I have planned for him is quite similar to Ninum. More based off one of Jin's abilities, but it functions a bit more like Ninum's. So, without further ado, let's get into the concept of Cad Bane. So, when it comes to Cad Bane, he will be using the blasters he always uses. I'm pretty sure I have tried to base everything I can as much off the Book of Boba Fett as I can. So it's mainly Book of Boba Fett themes Cad Bane. So, yeah. So, for our first part, I guess, will be the blasters. They will deal about 50 damage on a normal trooper, so we can two-shot them if he basically hits them with the normal blaster to the body, and if he hits them to the head, well, he one-shots them, whereas it's 100 damage. However, we'll still require a two-shot when it comes over to, when it will require 3 shots to the body if they're healed, and 2 shots if they're healed with like the back to bomb thing. When it comes over to the headshots. So yeah, now he will have, if you press the melee button, he will not go to melee. He will change his blaster. Now his blaster will be medium to long range, but he wouldn't exactly change the blaster in what you probably are thinking right now. He would change it into the former here, where he spawns in with 2 blasters, but then if you press the melee button, instead of meleeing, he ends up using 1 blaster. This is more effective for medium to long range, and in 1v1s, where it's less, where the 2 blasters are much more effective when it comes to, well, when you're fighting multiple enemies at short to medium range, while the 1 blaster can be used at any range, really. So yeah, now his jump will also be very different, as it actually activates his rocket boots. This is, I think, the only thing that's not really in Book of Boba Fett. So he will use his rocket boots instead of a jump. So he will basically be a bit like Boba Fett's jetpack. However, he can infinitely fly. He would, since it's part of his jump, I think it's only fair if he can't jump, then yeah. However, how it functions is still very similar, if not the same as Boba Fett's, where if there's a thing that can knock you down, then you get knocked down. So yeah, his health will be about 1,500. I think that's a pretty fair health. He was a pretty skilled bounty hunter, so I think that's a pretty good place to put it. Now we can get into the abilities. His first ability, aka the left one, will be called Duel. This will make him go into a duel with one hero. So he can only activate this against 1 hero. However, they cannot be hit by anybody else. It's kind of like Luke and Vader's Saber Clash, where they can damage each other, no one else can damage them. That's how it's going to be with this ability, where only each other can damage each other. Now this requires a bit of skill, because it's kind of his variation of Luke and Vader's Saber Clash. he will go into they will basically circle around each other with whatever weapon they have, whether it's a bowcaster, blaster, rifle, right beside them, and whoever basically shoots when it's said first, or the quickest, deals quite a bit of damage. It will deal about 200 damage, so one shot in any kind of enemy really. It will one shot reinforcements, I'm pretty sure. Okay, the guards, that's what I mean by reinforcements. When I say them, I mean guards. One shot troopers and take away 20 and take away, if they're at average health, 20 health from heroes. So it's quite a deadly ability. Now you may be wondering what happens if he does this on Luke. Well, it performs quite differently. He basically just fires the blaster if it's done on Luke, and stuns Luke for about the same amount of time Chain Lightning does. So it's a very different way on how abilities are in this game, but you can kind of compare this to Luke and Vader's Saber Clash and Greedo's Precision Shot. That's really the best way you can really put it together. It's like Greedo's Precision Shot as Luke and Vader's Clash, but for blasters, and it's a bit different when it comes to heroes. I think that's the best way you can put it. Middle ability will, aka the second ability, nearly said first, will be called Extra Breath. Once you activate this ability, Cad Bane will not take any damage from anything from the Force or explosives. So he becomes pretty much immune to anything that would usually affect breathing, like explosives and Force abilities. So he's completely immune to that and will not take any damage from them. That includes Chewbacca's normal bowcaster. So this really makes him so, because Chewie, he's not really that good when it comes over to when you try and duel him. He's usually got the upper hand if you're indoors. So with this, then I think Cad Bane should have a very good advantage over heroes like Chewbacca, where they're like characters like Chewbacca, where their attacks are mainly the explosions. So yeah. Now his last ability is already on another hero, Flamethrower, basically just Boba Fett's Flamethrower, but for Cad Bane. So basically just works the same way as Boba Fett's. So if you know how it works, then that's pretty much how it works. The cooldowns for the duel, that will be a 10-second cooldown. Breath, because it allows you to basically be invincible to any explosions and stuff like that. That will be on the 20 seconds. On when it comes over to the last ability, Flamethrower, I'll give it 15 seconds, maybe 5, because it's not really that powerful. Really, you only have, as it's really close range, and really the duel could be a much better option when it comes to the Flamethrower. So I don't think you should really ever be using it unless you're trying to damage enemies when you don't have the duel up. So I'll give it about a 10-second cooldown as well. Not really that powerful, but still kind of powerful. Like, it's much more efficient to kill enemies with Boba's Flamethrower, because it kills them much faster if you're doing it correctly. So yeah. Plus, I want to say something about the blasters that I forgot to point out. The blasters, they are either automatic, or you can press them as fast as you can, and they'll shoot as fast as you can shoot. So you have about 2 options, like kind of how Boba Fett's blaster is in this game, where you can shoot as fast as you can press the button, or you can attack with the normal auto fire. So you have two options, and this is on the 1 blaster and the 2 blaster. Also want to say that he does have a kind of guard. This is quite different though, because it's not really a guard. I already went over his guard form in the last video. I will be doing a little bit of a concept for him, but only because he's not a guard in the DLC exclusive mode for this concept I've been doing it for. So yeah, that basically his guard is a pike leader. I've already gone over him in the last video I made on the Book of Boba Fett Tatooine concept, DLC concept, so I recommend going to look at that before you, if you want to know how that is. So yeah, because I'm not going to really repeat myself, so it's just really just much easier to go over to another video, because I can hardly remember a bit of from that. I can't really remember what it was from that video, so I'd just be left guessing and probably get most all of it wrong. But yeah, that's basically Cad Bane. Tell me what you think about the concept if you want. I think from this concept he seems a pretty good character to players, and pretty fun as well. So I will be releasing the next my April Fool's video probably soon, hopefully soon after this video, hopefully. If not, then it may release a bit later in the day today. So yeah, I still haven't quite planned out what the video will be, so I'm kind of rushing to think of an idea so I can get the video out. So yeah, but that's basically it for the Cad Bane concept. Next up will hopefully be the Mandalorian. So Din Djarin, I know he would make more sense in the Mandalorian one, but really, who else are you going to put? You can't put Fennec on light side, because then Boba Fett and Fennec are on different sides, which is not how they are in the show. I think she work much better in a Bad Batch DLC where she's on the villains, and like you have Hunter or something like that on the good light side. I know that would make too much sense, but that's really the best way you can put it on the dark side and have it be with Boba Fett without making it seem all too different. So that really the Mandalorian is really the last option you have when it comes to this, and I know Boba Fett would have been a much better option, but then he's already in the game, he's already on dark side. I wonder if they do make another game, like another Battlefront game, if they put Boba on light side because of the Book of Boba Fett, which if so then that would would be a bit different from what we're really used to. And I don't think it would even make that much sense due to the history with him. So I think it's much better to keep him on dark side. So yeah. I know I'm going a bit off topic here. Anyways, that's really it for Cad Bane. If I might update, I may do a comment if there's anything I really want to point out in the future that I might have changed or updated or things added. I didn't really go over the movement speed. Pretty much will be the same as a normal soldier. Now he'd also be the first dual wielding character in the game. So yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.